Morning came, but the sun seemed unsure if it should shine. The light that crept into the hut wasn't bright. It was pale, like someone had wrung the color out of the sky. The 7 teens woke up lazily, stretching, yawning, joking. But Zina was already awake, and she hadn't slept much. Something about the place signaled at her chest. Her dreams were filled with water, deep water, and a woman crying without a face. She stood up quietly and walked outside. The rock still stood tall behind the hut, unmoved, unbothered. But her eyes shifted to the hut wall, the back, facing the rock. That's when she saw them. Symbols carved deep into the wood, one with age, but clearly there. Circles, spirals, something that looked like an eye, another like a hand. They hadn't been there yesterday, Zina was sure. Her heart thumped. She reached out and touched one. It was cold, colder than the rest of the wall. Her fingers tingled. She called softly, "Toju." No answer. She stepped back, and in that moment, a bird flew overhead, but its cry sounded more like a scream. She didn't tell the others, not yet. Back inside the hut, breakfast was a mess. No one could find a lighter. Muna spilled a whole bag of gari. Ebuka kept muttering that the speaker wasn't charging, even though it had full battery the night before. Timmy was unusually quiet, hugging her knees. Zina sat on her mat, pulled out her notebook, and began to draw. Not because she planned to, but because her hand seemed to move on its own. Lines, curves, circles. When she was done, she looked at the page. It was a drawing of a woman, no face, just a head wrap and eyes floating above her neck. Zina stared at it, her stomach twisting. "What is this?" she whispered to herself. Later that afternoon, the group wandered around. The bush stretched out endlessly. No other huts, no farms, just earth, trees, and silence. Toju tried to act bold, jumping from one stone to another. Ebuka recorded videos shouting, "This place the Mado," for content. Muna picked some dry leaves for her Instagram aesthetic. But the mood was thinning. Something was off. That evening, as they settled to eat, Zina couldn't hold it anymore. She brought out her notebook. "You guys, I need to show you something." They gathered, a bit curious, a bit tired. She opened the page with the symbols. "I found carvings like this at the back wall." She leaned forward. "That's weird." "There's more," she said. She flipped to the drawing of the faceless woman. Dio chuckled. "Dina, your head don't dey carry fimo." "I'm serious," she snapped, more sharply than usual. "I didn't draw this on purpose. My hand just did it." Toju frowned. "You sleepwalked and drew?" I was awake. The group grew quiet. Then Temi said, "I heard crying last night from outside." The silence thickened. Muna scoffed. "You people want to turn this thing to horror film." But even her voice lacked confidence. That night, they slept without music. The speaker refused to play. The huts creaked with every breeze. And in the deep of the night, the wind returned. But this time, it whispered names. Not all their names, just one. Zina. Over and over. Zina. 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 She sat up, her heart racing. Outside the hut, she saw movement. Not clear, just a flicker of white behind the rock. She stood. Her feet moved before her mind could stop them. She opened the door. The cold hit her like a slap. Still, she walked towards the back wall, towards the symbols. And then she heard it. The cry, soft, broken, of a child. She turned quickly. Nothing. She reached the wall. The symbols were glowing faintly now, a pale blue. Then she saw it. A tiny mark on her wrist, a spiral, the same symbol from the wall. She gasped, stumbled backward and fainted. Morning again. Tuju found her lying by the wall. Zina! Wake up, Zina! She opened her eyes, slowly. The others gathered, confused, frightened. I don't know what's going on, she whispered. But I think this place is alive, watching us. They helped her back inside. No one had much to say. They all felt it now. The change. This was no longer just an escape trip. Something else had joined them. Something ancient. Something waiting.